All right, so today's recipe is going to be a quinoa tabbouleh salad. And I know you hear the word salad, and most of the time it's like, oh, thanks. Lettuce, that's great. But we're not using lettuce today. We are going to use some flat leaf Italian parsley. So the tabbouleh salad, I mean, that's the real subject of this salad, is actually just based off of nice fresh parsley. I have parsley in here with a little bit of mint, and I have some green onions here. So when it comes to mint, I like to buy, where is that little thing? This little guy, because I don't use mint in a lot of my recipes, but it is the secret ingredient to this tabbouleh. So if I were to make this and it didn't have the mint, it would just be missing that something. So I got them in. So everything's been sitting in the bowl so that all the sand and dirt and whatever could be on there from being in the supermarket or being from the farm, if you have the opportunity to get it fresh, goes to the bottom. It's not something you have to do necessarily, but I like to do it because it can get, if you've ever had that experience, it's not too nice. It's not too nice. The next thing I did was I threw it in this salad spinner. So if you've never seen a salad spinner before, boom. They're really, really fun because you can throw the wet vegetables in there. If it's salad, if it's herbs, in this situation, all you got to do is push it down and it just goes around like a merry-go-round. And it's just fun, especially if you're going to be having little helpers in the kitchen. This is fun for kids to do the salad spinner. And a lot of times they get given as gifts, and now it has a purpose. So get out the salad spinner. The next thing I'm going to do to make this recipe filling and actually a pretty good meal is the quinoa part. So in this bowl, I'm going to throw together about half a cup of cooked quinoa. So I like, for this recipe, you can use, of course, any color that you'd like, whatever is your preference. In my situation, I did not cook any this morning, but I did find this at ShopRite. It's already cooked. It's good. The only thing is got a little salt, little oil in it, so I have to keep that in mind while I'm making the rest of this. If it was made from scratch, it would be preferable, but didn't have time. So today I'm going to also use about a half a cup of chickpeas. So I do equal parts quinoa to chickpeas because in a typical tabbouleh recipe we're using bulgur wheat, and bulgur wheat is really nutty and really satiating. It's high in protein, it's high in fiber, but for this recipe I'm making it more of a gluten-friendly option. And this is actually something that when I used to work at the cafe in DC at Politics and Prose at the Den, that was one of my favorite things to eat was this tabbouleh salad. I ate it every day and basically didn't have to do much grocery shopping for myself. It was my sustenance. So thank you for making that and inspiring the recipe. So I'm going to put everything together here. I've got all this nice parsley. I'm going to do about a cup of it chopped up here. I'm going to stand this chair to work. Chop, 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 chop. Nice rough chop. Doesn't have to be anything too tiny, and you don't have to be too crazy about getting rid of the stems because the stems, they have a good flavor to them as well. I wouldn't want it to be predominantly stems, but a couple of stems is going to be a good thing. So I chopped up the parsley in there, and now I'm going to have some of the mint. Got to find my mint, of course, main recipe. I'm going to pick, I don't want the stem from this one though. I'm just going to pick the leaves off because it's a lot easier. I'm going to get about a tablespoon to every cup of the parsley that I have. So it's like just a little kiss of the mint, but it's definitely important here. Okay, chop that up, throw it in the bowl. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is put in some cherry tomatoes. Because I want this to be a nice, refreshing summer salad, I'm going to throw in about a quarter cup of just diced cherry tomatoes. In the summertime, if you have like those really big beefsteak tomatoes, dice them up and throw it in. It's so good, honestly. The next ingredient that I'm going to do to make it a little bit more filling, again, more ingredients, is this cucumber here. So if you've ever messed with a cucumber and didn't like how many seeds and how watery it was, I almost always go for these English cucumbers here. And I don't stop there. So I got my piece of cucumber here. I want about a quarter of a cup, just as much as I had the tomatoes. I'm gonna cut that little top off so I can make it flat, sliced it in half. And now I have this, in which I'm going to take my handy dandy, dot, spoon, my handy dandy spoon, and I'm gonna just scoop out the seeds like this. See, there aren't a lot in this anyway, but you can imagine if you get a big old regular cucumber, you get a lot of stuff out of there. So I just like to scrape out those seeds so that it's less watery in here. And then all you have to do is run your knife down to some nice strips, and then down again. Again, keep your fingers behind like a little claw, and it's okay if it gets a little sloppy at the end, because no one is giving you any grades for this. It's just you. It's you grading you. So don't be a harsh critic. I mean, how could you be a harsh critic though when something looks delicious like this? This is so beautiful. I'm just gonna mix it all up together, and oh my goodness, it smells so good. Now, because this has a little bit of seasoning in it already, I'm not gonna go too crazy, but what I am gonna do is put in lemon juice. Fresh lemon juice can just make the whole thing burst. If you can, instead of getting the bottled lemon juice, get a fresh lemon. It will make a big difference, and it will taste so good. So, I mean, it'll always taste good, but it'll taste a little better. I'm going to use about half of a lemon. This is a big guy, that's why it's a big lemon. So I'm going to use half of it and squeeze over the bowl. I have my hand over here, so if any little seeds come out, I'll catch them. Wash your hands before doing anything like this. This is a really fun way to get little kids involved, and it's a good way to just be active and have fun when you're cooking. So now my hands are all lemony, but it's nice. Now I've got that all over the salad. Now the final step is to show you how beautiful it is. I'm going to use this bowl here, and we're just going to imagine you're at a restaurant, or let's not imagine you're at a restaurant. Let's imagine you're in your own backyard on a nice summer day, looking forward to lunch, and then somebody gives you a big old plate of this. Keep my spoon. Look how beautiful. Look how green. Look how good for you it is. It's got all the tips. It's got protein, it's got fiber, it's got lots of delicious phytonutrients and anti-cancer properties, and I'm just going to eat it with this measuring spoon because why not? It's so good. I never thought I'd eat parsley like this, but it really doesn't need a single other thing. It's so good. I hope you like the recipe. Happy cooking. Eat well. Take care. Bye-bye.